Ladies and gentlemen, and this is why we love football. This is why it's called the Derby d'Italia. Final score Juventus 4, Inter 3. What a game that was. And to be fair, the Serie A, by the way, I feel like the Serie A usually goes under the radar in terms of entertainment and competitiveness. The Serie A has been quite one of the most competitive leagues in Europe, and for a long, long time, such games usually go under the radar because this is once again another Derby d'Italia that has produced a spectacle. We had the one last season that Inter and Juventus drew 4-4 at San Siro when Inter had the lead, Juve took the lead, Inter took the lead again, made it 4-2, Juventus equalized, super subs, Kenan Yildiz, and today it was a very, very good game. Now, where do I start? This was a match where both teams that were playing today, uh, basically it was a match of a huge pressured match because you had Juventus, who were, I think, joint top of the league, top of Serie A. They were joint top, and they were looking to go at the top of the league before the Napoli game. They were looking to go at the top of the league, but here come Inter, who last season were so close to win the Scudetto, coming in from a back of a shock loss to Udinese. The game didn't disappoint. Where do we start? The first goal. I thought Inter were having some better spells in possession of the ball. They were pressing the ball very well. But however, there was that chance by, was it Barella, that was well saved by Di Gregorio. The first goal for Juventus, surprisingly, Lloyd Kelly scored. Okay? That's a shock. Eh? Have you ever seen that meme? Eh? Shit guy finally scored. For all the criticism Lloyd Kelly has received, and to be fair, rightly so, because I don't know how he ended up at Juve, but credit to him, took his goal very well. It came from a set piece that was cleared. Then Bremer rose high to win the duel, and Kelly fired in bottom left corner. No chance there for Jan Sommer once again. Jan Sommer has come under some immense criticism of late, and it showed today. But the goal was well taken by Lloyd Kelly. Gleison Bremer, again, he was fantastic in the game. It clearly showed that how badly Juventus missed him after that ACL he got against Leipzig in October. Another good assist. And then Hakan Çalhanoğlu. Look, this is why I like saying watch the game with your eyes other than watch the game with the numbers and the stats. Because someone might have looked at the game and saw Hakan score two belters. By the way, that was a very good goal with his weak foot, and said Hakan had a good game. But for those who watched the game full 90 could tell you Hakan was absolutely awful. Hakan was honking. But he took his goal very well, by the way. No chance there for Di Gregorio. Weak left foot. We all know Hakan. He's got that ball striking in him. And Inter, for some parts, were looking like the better team. But when it comes to a team like Juventus, especially at the early ends, you have to take your chances or you will get punished. The second goal was Kenan Yildiz. Basically, a player that has gone under the radar this season and for even a part of last season. The way he has put Juventus on its back, and he has just taken the chain and he has become the main guy up front. Took his goal very well from a distance. I don't think Soma would have done much regarding the goal. I saw some criticism on Jan Soma. I don't think he would have done much in that goal. But Kenan Yildiz once again, Derby d'Italia, rises high, steps in, bangs in a very beautiful goal from distance. And then it was kind of a seesaw kind of a game because Juve had their own chances that were well blocked by the Inter defense. Hakan seems to be the only player in that first half that was trying to make something happen for Inter because, to be honest, the midfield today was off. Barella was off. Miki was off. I didn't think they had their best games today. Marcus Thuram in the first half wasn't there. And then halftime it went 2-1. Now, the second half, now, here is where everything started to unfold. Hakan Çalhanoğlu with another belter. And once again, poor defending from Juventus, because apart from Gleison Bremer and Lloyd Kelly, if you with the goal, and even in the second half, basically Gatti was awful because two of the goals came from his side. Gatti was absolutely awful. I don't know why Tudor went with Kalulu at wing back position, but we also against Genoa how he struggled massively there, and once again it showed. The absence of Cambiaso was also felt by Juventus. Let's be honest here. But I don't know why he played Kalulu at a wing back. But they were not good. Kalulu was just okay, but Gatti was absolutely awful there. Another brilliant belter by Hakan, and Inter equalized because Juventus basically they began the second half and decided to play the Cotomuso. This thing of playing 10 men at the back, they decided to play some Allegri ball. Inter continued to pile all the pressure, and eventually the third goal came in. Marcus Thuram, brilliant header, fantastic substitution by Christian Kivu to bring in DiMarco, who has been under a lot of pressure. Came in to replace Augusto. I thought he had an okay type of a game. DiMarco came in, fantastic cross to find Marcus Thuram, and once again, Juventus failing to sign a centre back might be their downfall for the season, because brilliant header by Marcus Thuram, but no one was marking him. No one was winning the aerial duel there. Brilliant there by Thuram. And at that point, you would think Inter would go on to win the game. But by the way, I didn't understand why Marcus Thuram didn't celebrate. I know his father might be a Juve fan, Lilian Thuram. I didn't understand why he didn't celebrate. I think he celebrated a bit, but he should have celebrated it more because it's a rivalry. But one thing about Serie A, it looks like it's somehow scripted, yeah? The script was written because at the other end, another set piece, foul given by Bastoni, who I thought, by the way, had an off game. I don't know what has happened. These last two games against Israel for Italy and against Juve, this is another game where he has been off it. By the way, he needs to wake up. But Bastoni gave away the foul. Set piece, Kenan Yildiz finds Kefren Turam with a brilliant header, bottom corner, 3-3. And Kefren Turam snatched his brother's celebration. He kind of, I don't know how it goes. Something like this, maybe. He snatched his celebration very well. And at that point, the stadium erupts, yeah, after that poor show. And one of the things that made the difference for Juventus was the substitutions, because you could see Juventus had some firepower ready on the bench. Yeah, David Openda came in, they added a bit of dynamics. Inter just seemed to lack that firepower at the end, and at that time when Juve scored, you could actually feel they could get the fourth, and the fourth goal was a brilliant belter by Vasily Astic. That was a brilliant belter, set up by Jonathan David. But that one now, Jan Sommer has to be blamed for that one. The second half performance, Jan Sommer has to be blamed, because when you look at the shot once again, you could see like Sommer got a hand on the ball, but somehow it just ended up in the net. Yeah, that was peak Andre Onana performance. But overall, that was a very brilliant game. Jan Sommer, I think it might be time, because I read a certain stat like Sommer, the last 3 games against Juventus, he's conceded 9 goals and made a total of 1 save. Like that match, he made a total of 0 saves. That's kind of a concern. But overall, you could just feel it's the Derby d'Italia. This is like that sort of a beef kind of a rivalry, because you always have like the Inter versus Milan. Everyone knows Inter and Milan, the Derby Madonnina. But this one is genuinely like a much more fierce rivalry. There's hate between these two clubs, and you could feel it from the start. But overall, if you missed out on the match, you missed out on a spectacle. From Juventus' perspective, they will take this win as a positive. 3 wins out of 3. I don't rate Igor Tudor at all. I don't think he's the man to take Juve forward. But so far, good start from him. Maybe they can make a push for that Champions League spot. Maybe, but they look like very serious, heading to Hellas Verona. But brilliant start from Juve. Standout players for me, of course, Kenan Yildiz, the shining light in this Juve team. Jonathan David and Openda, I thought they had some good cameos by adding in more pace and more attacking threat as they came on. Another person I thought he had a very good game was Kefen Turam, even before the goal. You can clearly see how he drives the ball. He kind of gives me some bit of some Paul Pogba vibes. Gleison Bremer, once again, a one-man defense. For Inter, maybe the standout player, in spite of him being bad, Hakan, Marcus Thuram had a very, very good game, especially that second half. You could see his strength. He was using his strength to get everyone involved in the play. But overall, it's another for Inter. It's another loss. I know pressure will be under Christian Kivu, but Inter, the real people who are actually letting Inter down are the board. They didn't give him some young players because this team is clearly being run to the ground. This team is clearly aging and they need to bring in some young, fresh players in order to rejuvenate the team. But overall, a very, very good derby. Let me hear your thoughts down in the comments. What do you think of the game? Do you think Juve stand a strong chance of a Scudetto? Do you think it's over for Inter? Like, share, subscribe. What are your thoughts on Christian Kivu for the Inter fans? And overall, let me know what you think. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.